In the late 19th century, during a time when the East and West were beginning to meet and clash in ideas, there lived a university professor in Tokyo. His name was Professor Tokuda, a man known for his intellect, his sharp memory, and his pride in mastering the philosophies of the world. He had studied Western science, Indian mysticism, and even dabbled in the ancient Chinese texts. But lately, he had heard whispers about a strange and elusive discipline called Zen, a teaching that wasn't written in books or expressed in formulas, but lived through experience. Curious and somewhat skeptical, he set off to visit the famed Zen master Nan-in, who resided in a small, humble temple nestled in the Green Mountains outside Kyoto. After a long journey by train and a walk through a misty forest trail, Professor Tokuda arrived at Nan-in's temple. It was a simple structure with a rock garden, a bamboo grove, and the faint sound of a wind chime echoing in the silence. A young monk welcomed him with a bow and guided him to the tea room. There, seated on a cushion beside a low wooden table, was Master Nan-in, a thin, serene man in his 70s, with a long white beard and a gaze that felt both kind and piercing. Professor Tokuda bowed stiffly, introduced himself, and quickly began to speak. "I have studied the Vedas, the Tao, and the Sutras," the professor declared proudly. "I understand the Eightfold Path, the Four Noble Truths, and even the Diamond Sutra. I've read D.T. Suzuki's translations on Zen, and I have questions, important ones. What is the core of Zen? How does one attain Satori? What method is best for enlightenment, Zazen, Koan, or mindfulness? And how does Zen relate to modern psychology?" Nan-in smiled politely but said nothing. Undeterred, the professor continued, an unbroken stream of words and ideas, theories and philosophies, comparisons and arguments. He was not there to learn. He was there to confirm what he believed he already knew. Nan-in quietly got up and brought a pot of tea. Without a word, he placed a cup in front of the professor and began to pour. The tea rose in the cup, nearing the brim. But Nan-in did not stop. The professor watched the tea rise and rise until it overflowed the rim, spilling onto the saucer and then onto the floor. "Master!" the professor finally exclaimed. "The cup is full. No more will go in." Nan-in calmly looked at him and said in a soft, deliberate voice, "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions, assumptions, and knowledge. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" The room fell into silence. No wind, no birds. Even the chimes had ceased. The professor sat frozen. His mind, once swirling with theories, became still. For the first time in years, he had nothing to say. He stared at the tea dripping onto the floor, and in that stillness, he felt something shift, a flicker of understanding that came not from books but from experience. His ego cracked just a little. The fortress of knowledge he had built around himself started to crumble. He bowed deeply. "Master," he whispered, "please, teach me." Nan-in did not smile, nor did he lecture. He simply refilled the cup, this time only half full, and placed it gently before the professor. That day, Professor Tokuda did not receive answers. He received a lesson far more valuable. To truly learn, you must first unlearn. To truly see, you must first empty your vision. Only an empty cup can be filled. Moral of the story: we often carry the weight of what we think we know, opinions, biases, beliefs, and judgments. But true wisdom doesn't live in a cluttered mind. It lives in emptiness, in openness, in humility. Zen doesn't fill you with more. It strips you down to nothing. And in that nothingness, you find everything.